just do not see how many people are benefiting. I've listened to everybody. I've got good friends that disagree, but most of the coaches, what we say in public and what we believe are sometimes two different things, because you're worried about hurting somebody's feelings or hurting your recruiting. I'm so far beyond that. I'm worried about what betters the game and what betters the student athlete. And this concept that everybody should be able to change jobs like that, to me, is a joke. Okay, to me is a joke. But, and if we're talking academics, I don't care if you transfer from Northern Michigan to Hillsdale, from Michigan to Michigan State, Harvard to Yale, you're probably going to lose some credit hours. And so I think we've done a disservice, as always, and look what looks nice out in front, the unintended consequences become more critical. And we're sitting here, and there's a lot of schools out there, worse than us, that have no idea who they're going to play against. And I'm just, I look at the bylaws and the rules and the exceptions and the this and the that, and I don't agree with it all. So whether Joey Hauser gets eligible or not doesn't change, so you'll say what a hypocritical guy you are. If your guy makes it, you're happy with. No, I'm not. But what I'm not happy with is that my guy doesn't get it and other people are getting it. That I'm not happy about. Okay? But I can't tell you how much I still believe that when we had, I think in football last week, I think in 1 week there were like 58 or 60 people in the portal. If I hear that word portal, if I use that anymore, somebody shoot me, okay? I hate that word portal. I think it's ridiculous, but that's where we're at right now, and I just hope enough of us can make people realize, I don't know if it's healthy for anybody. And don't mince like y'all do half my words. Okay, don't pick apart so that the narrative fits your story or somebody else's story. Because I'm just saying, more than anything, I think it hurts the student athlete. It makes you not work for things. It makes you not appreciate things. It puts you in a position, as I've heard in other sports, and I don't know this, where we got guys putting their name in the portal, then wanting to come back. So I wasn't going to say that word. We got guys putting their name in a garbage basket and then wanting to come back. We got guys putting their names in, or gals putting their names in and not having any place to go. We've had many people in the women's sports that I've been told don't even get a scholarship. They lose their scholarship because they think it's just easy to put your name in. It's really sad what this has come to, and I don't know if anybody realizes it, but most of you are in the mid-millennials. You're not the 22, 23, 24, few you are, but if you're in that mid-range, it shocked you how much it costs to go to school now. And that scholarship is worth something. The education you get is worth something. And I think we're kind of devaluing that. And I think that's a shame, that we devalue something that is so critically important to 99% of all athletes. And that scares me. So, good soapbox topic. Next.
Tom, you obviously are going to beat down two of your more experienced wings for the foreseeable future. How does Aaron Henry kind of step up in that situation? Not necessarily as the two guard, but as a one of the more experienced wings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, We had, like I said, the Iron Four. We had 4 guys that we had not only confidence in, but they had experience. And they all played in big games. I mean, significant. And that was Cash and Josh and Aaron and Xavier. And you take one out of there, we still have 3 very experienced guys that have done a lot. But Arnie brings that partial experience to the table. And I mean, hell, we could start 2 freshmen in those 2 spots. And so everybody's got to step up. Coaches got to step up. Players got to step up. The rookies got to step up. Everybody's got to step up. But it's also what an opportunity for people. You know, you're going to play on some of the biggest stages, and you got the opportunity of a lifetime. And other people are playing freshmen, and other people have injuries. You know, it's not just us. I don't feel sorry for Josh's injury for our team as much as I do for Josh. He's just one of those guys that, you know, I mean, I'd give my right arm to have him play. For him, for what he's done, for what he believes in, for how he acts, for how he works. I mean, he's an incredible kid. So, hard to feel sorry for myself and my team when I got to watch a guy come to practice every day more upbeat than I am, doesn't get to play. That's really hard. So everybody's going to have to step up a notch. Aaron Henry's going to have to step up a notch. Cash Winston's going to have to step up a notch. Xavier Tillman's going to have to step up a notch. And we're going to have to become very, very close-knit, because there'll be some bumps and bruises. You know, there'll be some new people having to go through some things that they never dreamed of going through. They all talk like they wanted to go through it. Now they're going to have to walk what they're going through, and it's harder to walk it than it is to talk it.
Tom, with this game versus other, are you trying to get anything different out of this exhibition versus the scrimmage? Obviously, the situation's a little bit different, being at home, different competition.
Yeah,
but
the
other goals will be
situation different. What I want to do is play better than we played in the last one, and you can say, well, that's gonna, you know, could happen with the competition. I don't think so. You know. Are we running harder? Are we filling our lanes? Are we going to the offensive glass? Doesn't matter if you're going against a 5th grade team or a star team. Those are effort-related things that I thought had to improve. So I'm anxious to see that. Are we going to be mature enough to start playing the game? Not the team. You know, we play the game means we got to get better each and every day. There were some reasons. You know, I think guys coming off the Josh thing. I think, you know, Arnie getting hurt. Plus, I thought, you know, we played a lot of guys. Those were all reasons, but I also thought Gonzaga was a very, very good team, which I said early. I think we're one of 10 teams. I still think we're one of 10 teams, but I think there's a lot of other teams out there that are awfully good. And the first 20 days, you're going to see a lot of them, like maybe 2, 3, and 4.
Kind of want to go back to that ugly word, portal again. You've dealt with guys transferring in season. I think back to like Kearney and Cotton. Do you expect that, because obviously Mark's dealing with that in football, do you expect that to be a situation in basketball more now? Because it seems like that's been a rare thing compared to...
Yeah. Well, they've opened up Pandora's box. There's a lot of things that changed that you're going to panic over. Like, you know, we're panicking over a couple guys leaving in football. And that was another thing that I was disappointed of. None in here, but I heard one guy talking about it, and he said, well, yeah, he's losing starters. I mean, some guys weren't even on scholarship, so let's make sure we get the facts straight. Oh, that's right, the facts don't matter. But sometimes they do. Football's thing is, to me, outrageous, because they have the 4, you play 4 times, so that makes it a lot different than basketball. But what we see in basketball, you know, what will they do with that rule? You know, you're supposed to be able to play in so many games in the first half of the season. Are we going to see guys go 6 games? Now, you're supposed to have an injury in basketball, but who knows? I don't know where it's going. That's my reason. If you always have an excuse for everything instead of being held accountable to what you got to do, that's my reason I think we're helping people in the short end. You know, we're winning the battle, but we're losing the war. And the war is a lifetime. And that's why I struggle with this stuff, you know. And I think there's a lot of coaches feel the same way. I just think people are afraid to say anything anymore. You know, I'm not afraid to say anything. I want my guys having a great experience here, but a greater life later on. And I think what we're teaching is not. So what's going to happen in basketball? This is one time I have nothing over you guys. You know, we're all in this together. This is new territory. I don't like what I think I'm going to see in that garbage can. There's been a lot of different things that have happened in all sports. There is an enormous amount of more people in it since we called it that word. I don't see where that's healthy for anybody, but maybe I'm wrong too. I've been wrong before. Maybe I'm wrong.
All right, I'm going to get off of the garbage can. Right, I'm going to talk about Rocket. You mentioned he's probably going to start tomorrow night. How prepared are you?
My fault, because I'm usually pretty honest with you. He will start tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I worded it different. Sorry. As a true freshman and a guy, how prepared is he for that sort of role right out of the gate, and not just tomorrow night, but looking potentially next week in that sort of stage?
You know, I asked Rocket something the other day. It was really kind of fun. We all know, remember he was going to sign, and then he didn't. But what we did is we all assumed that he was question marking. But he posts things that my assistants would bring to me, because I don't look at that stuff. You know, I was a Spartan, still a Spartan, this and that, and this and that. Like, it was no big deal. It was just the cool thing not to sign earlier, because a lot of the other guys were doing it. So I said to him the other day, I said, well, now you've been here for 3 months, and, you know, I told you what I didn't like about you. You know, when you hung your head when I said something to you, or when you weren't quite the teammate that I thought you needed to be. And I've watched you, honest to God, the kid has come farther than any kid I've coached in a lot of years. Now, what does that mean? I don't know, but I said, are you happy you're here? Did you have any real, besides people, you know, wherever you are, people are going to rip the coach and do this and do that. And he goes, oh yeah, man, I'm happy I'm here. He's helped himself academically. He's become a great teammate. I was laughing yesterday. I said, here's Kyle Arns and him kind of, you know, Kyle's from the farmlands. I mean, I think there's 100 people in this town. And Rocket's from Detroit, Michigan. And you know, Kyle was helping Rocket for a month, and yesterday, you know, the last week, Kyle's been the guy sitting out, and I watched Rocket go over to him, and I'm really proud of where he's come and what he's doing, and I don't know if he's ready for the moment. I really don't care if he's ready for the moment. We're going to get him as ready as we can get him, but we're also going to understand that he's going to make the same freshman mistakes as Miles Bridges made and Jaren Jackson made, and, you know, Josh Langford, you know, halfway through his freshman year, you know, we're still getting him to work. Aaron Henry, you know, but the kid has been fun to coach. The kid has been, he's confident without being cocky, and I've been really impressed with what he's done.
Earnings and mid-season form.
Huh?
Earnings and mid-season form.
Earnings and mid-season form. Ernie, my wife called as much as your wife called.
My wife,
man.
Tom.
God bless you.
My wife died.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Yeah. Very sorry.
No, that's not her. But,
Put my foot in my mouth, but I'm sorry.
no, I know you didn't know. But, question,
Yes, sir.
what are the two most important things you learned about your team against Gonzaga?
Wow. that if we do not play with energy and emotion, the talent does not make up for it. And if we don't play with the same tenacity we did last year, the talent and experience does not make up for it. That's one thing I learned. And the second thing, after watching the film and realizing that we played 11, 12 guys on a regular basis, and they didn't have that many, that, if I would have had Cassius in there longer instead of 26 minutes or whatever it was, if I would have played Xavier more, I think it could have been a little different too. So both things were good, especially the first one, because I don't care who you are or what you are, I think you always kind of think that things are just going to happen because you have the experience for them to happen. Whatever happens, you have to make happen. I didn't think on that day we did.
Tom, Gabe Brown has a bigger role this year. How has he done in preparing for that role? How's he coming along?
Gabe has probably worked as hard as anybody on my team this summer. Gained some weight, worked on his shot morning, noon, and night. Still has got to continually to get better defensively, and he's gotten better on the ball, sometimes off the ball. He's not quite as sharp as I need him to be right now, Maybe he loses his guy a little bit, so we've been working on that, but he's worked, and that's all I can ask him. He works and he cares, and I think he's going to have to be a key guy now. When you look at who we got, when you look at what could happen that first week, depending where Arnie is. I mean, if you took Arnie and Josh out of there, that's 50 minutes minimum, One played 30 last year, one played 20. So it could be 55 minutes out of that 200 minutes that are taken away, besides the guys we lost. So, that's going to be an issue for us early, and Gabe's one of the guys that stepped up a little bit last year in a couple big games in the Big Ten tournament, the NCAA tournament, and I think has to do it again.
We have one final one in the front.
I really haven't talked a lot about Thomas, and you did talk about, you plan to start him as well.
Yeah.
What has he done, I guess, in terms of little things, big things, to be that guy right now, and how much does he need to show to keep that job?
Well, we're still hoping that Marcus is the guy that'll step up. He just sometimes yet conditioning, kept keeping up with the added weight, all the things. We're worried about who can play a lot of minutes, but all along through all this, we said at the end of the game, there's a bond between Xavier and Thomas. They kind of know where each other is going, I think, for Cassius and our guards. I mean, Thomas knows how to play. That's one thing he's really good at. I'm a little concerned with if I start both guys, going back to the Morris Peterson days when you got to have somebody coming off the bench that does something that you can rely on. It was really funny when Kyle Arns talked to me this week. He kind of said, "Coach, maybe you should start Rocket even if I can come back soon or if I don't come back later." I said, "Why is that?" And he said, he'll get to work more with the first group, and you'll get to, what I can bring off the bench, and I'm cool with it." And I mean, that's the kind of guy you want in your foxhole, and he's the one that brought it to me. And so in Thomas Kithier's case, we just still need to get off to a decent start in these big games. And it's the one problem with the schedule, that we aren't going to get anybody in there early that you can relax against or you can experiment a little bit with. So I think we're going to go that route, but I can honestly say we're not sure. And that's kind of a uncomfortable feeling, yet kind of an exciting feeling, because every day in practice somebody's trying to earn their spot. So I am excited about the fact that our three guys, I mean, when you got a quarterback, when you got a you know, for a wing guy and you got a post guy, that's a great way to build a program around. And you know, so it puts a little more on everybody, but it puts a little more on Cassius because he's going to be playing with some new people. And that's where last week I brought up the Brady Patriot thing. You know, it's harder for a quarterback to know where everybody's going, what everybody's doing. And so he's going to be on top of his game like nobody else. But I think he's good enough to handle that too. I really do. So that's the exciting part. I do think we're going to play a lot of people somewhat. Some of those guys under the lights could rise up. And some of those guys could choke up a little bit. You know, I never know how young guys handle things early. What I do like about Rocket is he's been in some big games nationwide. He's been in some big tournaments AU-wise, but maybe more importantly, he's got a toughness about him that I think you get in the inner city that I think is going to really help him. Okay.
You had an announcement?
Oh, yes. I would like to close by saying that we have decided we're going to hang another jersey up there. Draymond Green now is, you know, we tried to do it last year, but we were unable to. And Draymond's been a special player, both as a person, his toughness, he's kind of helped let us realize what we need here, and that's a tough player with an incredibly high basketball IQ. You kind of see it separate even more that he's been in the NBA and what he's done and what he's accomplished. And he was part of 2 Final Fours here, almost part of 3. He's been part of 3 world championships and playing for another one. It's well documented that Draymond, you know, when he almost didn't come here, you know, he was going to go to Kentucky, but what he did has been a goal to someday play in the NBA, and he was able to accomplish that here. He kept adding elements to his game. You know, I think I was with Mark Few the other day, and he was still talking about, you know, that 35-point performance at Gonzaga where almost nobody wins, and you know, he added that to his rebounding, which was phenomenal, his passing. He kind of added different things to his game, and throughout all his success, he never forgot where he came from. You know, Michigan State and Saginaw have been very important parts to him. He wants to do all he can do, I think, for both parties, as evident with the money he gave here, with the things he's done up in Saginaw, with going back, and again, not forgetting where he comes from. He's always talking to our players about helping them achieve what he's done. He still hangs out with some of the guys that he used to be with here. I think it's been phenomenal, but maybe what's most important to me is I could yell at him and he could yell at me, and it was unique. Sometimes it was father-son, sometimes it was coach-player, and sometimes it was, now it's friend-friend. But if I don't think he's doing something right, he'll tell me. And when he doesn't think I'm doing something right, he'll tell me. Most people that hide from any confrontation, he's not one of them. And that's what makes it special to me. So he's a guy that's always made other people better. I think that's what our program stands for. He's given me personally so much. You know, the phone calls, the talks, the time I've gone out there. It's been one of those relationships that is second to none to me. And to hoist his banner up there will be a special night. We're going to do it on December 3rd. I hope we live up to what he's given us by how we play. But we've been trying to do this, and this worked out. They're going to be in Atlanta. We're able to fly them up, and then they go from there, I think it is, to Charlotte. And so the date worked out, the timing worked out, the place worked out, and I don't know, maybe he'll hang around, coach the team that night. So I'm excited about that too, and I just wanted to share that with you. It's been something we talked about, and we're trying to work out the logistics of it. We finally
questions on that?
Did you say December 3rd at the Duke game?
December 3rd.
Yeah.
Does that mean once Xavier's done, nobody will, will Xavier be changing his?
Yeah,
number?
we haven't even totally talked about that. Not disking Xavier any, but just like all the other guys that have had to give up their numbers, we're going to have to talk about that. Whether Xavier wants to change numbers, whether Draymond will allow him to wear it. I'm going to have Xavier ask him. I'm not asking him. I'm going to give him that right now. But I'm sure it'll work out one way or another. Anything else? Thanks a lot, guys.